and better. He's no longer that aggressive melee flex that he was at KT's roster. He's now the full range carry and doing a pretty good job at doing this.
Well then, we're heading to another Battlefield of Eternity game. Let's see if TeamNut can bring this back.
I had a quick hiccup.
As did I. 920 is what I'm on latency-wise.
920, I'm still at 7.5.
Okay, I'll come down to you.
Cool.
I will come way further down than you. 5.9.
Well, I shall go down to you then. 5.5.
Right, then. Dope.
Man, it's really cool to see how your internet has recovered. So cool.
Yeah, it's nice to see. All we have to do is to turn off half of it, as we see Deckard Cain being banned away.
Is that how the UK internet works? You actually increase performance by cutting something? That's amazing.
Seemingly so. As Maiev insta-pick because, well, she was let through the bans.
Oh boy. Maiev already in the house. Win rate 62.5, pretty convincing. And she was banned in almost 80% of all the games. For a good reason. Blaze and the Li Ming coming in. Whitemane sneaks in for the one this time. TeamNut tried it last time, did not work. So what does TeamNut do against this? Are they going to play standard? Or are they going to play something extraordinary again? Extraordinary in a way that it's not common, not because it's extraordinarily awesome. Map was Battlefield of Eternity, right?
Yes, you are correct. BOE. This time, it is the Garrosh that is removed. Once again, he gives great control over these objectives. And Cassia, for the second time, banned out by TheOne.
Ooh, yeah.
I think they're playing RPG.
Well, RPG could have actually gone away with a Vala now. I mean, at this point, if you saw that last game that they had, I think Vala has to be expected when playing RPG in the future.
So, what are we going to see from TeamNut? They still need a main tank, seeing as they banned out Garrosh. It would be very strange to not see them pick one now. There's a Nubarak and Hammer. Very interesting lineup here.
Yeah, very interesting indeed. I mean, there's a lot of protective tools available for that Hammer from the front line, actually. We have a bunker, we have a cocoon, just in case one of the enemy heroes gets too close. I think bunker is probably going to be used on Maiev most of the time, so you prevent her from getting those umbral binds in, from getting those reset combos that can wreck and melt your backline. Cool stuff. Look at that win rate, by the way, Tetra. We were calling a Nubarak a sleeper pick, a secret weapon. Win rate, 80%.
But only picked in 10% of games, so you can see there is not the biggest sample size, but once again, when he sneaks in, he seems to work very, very well.
Yep.
Tyrael this time coming in for the other side. In fact, three of the same picks. Whitemane, Yarel, and Tyrael only on the other side this time.
Okay, so the Tyrael, I was at first slightly bamboozled as to why we would see Tyrael twice in a row, but with that Maiev first pick, it makes a lot of sense, right? You drop that Warden's Cage, you follow it up with a Sanctification, and all of a sudden there is nothing that the enemy team can do from stopping you. So, yeah, I mean, I like this composition. It's a little bit hard to execute, but if there's one team that can do it, it's TheOne probably.
Yeah, I would believe so. I think also that Reyna is a much more standard pick to flow with this than a Zul'jin. Although I will say I really do like the appeal and idea of a Warden's Cage Guillotine level 20 upgrade. Sounds pretty great to me. But overall, I really do like TheOne's draft. I do think TeamNut's draft is a little bit more standard this time. So if they play it well and don't fall behind early, there's a chance we might be able to see them pull out a 1-1. But TheOne, they still look solid. They looked way better in game number 1. It would be very surprising to see them lose.
Yeah. I mean, we could even see a Hyperion there as well. The Tyrael does have a couple of slows available. And then with Ace in the hole, you could go for extra damage on everybody entrapped into the Warden's Cage. So yeah, there's many ways to play this, as Tetra said. TheOne has all the tools they need. The question is, can they actually apply them on the Battlefield of Eternity? Or is TeamNut going to bounce back like they've done it against Beyond the Game earlier. And although I really didn't like their performance in Game 1, I think we now at this point have to just accept it, that sometimes the nuts cannot be contained, and they're just doing crazy stuff, right? So, sometimes they show up, sometimes they do their own thing. I think it's safe to say that points to them don't matter necessarily. They just want to have fun, it seems.
I mean, if you do that, make sure you're out of crucible range. I'm sorry, but that tilts me.
Yeah.
If you're here to have fun, then at least make sure you're in a safe position.
Agreed. That's common sense. I
Yes,
totally agree.
I just think that they think these comps are right, or they're trying to cheese, and it's just not working out for them.
Do you think they have what it takes to take this game, though, Tetcher, with the draft they have this time, which looks much more standard?
I think it's definitely... I also thought they had what it took with the other draft. It very much depends on how well they execute it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Hugo and his boys, they need those points. They're going to be up one series onto BTG, but if they lose this game here, right now on BOE, they're going to remain fairly far away from Beyond the Game. And we can't stress enough how important that first place, that pole position, is when it comes to qualifying to BlizzCon.
I've jumped up to 6-1, by the way. I don't know if you could potentially get up to me. Yeah, I can't seem to get lower.
Check in. 6-1.
Nice. Results.
Tetcher, while we're waiting for the game to start, obviously there's still a little bit of an issue going on. Why don't you tell us what's going to happen after this series?
After this series and the one after it, because we are not done yet. There's still
this is the penultimate one?
to go
I'm sorry.
as well. Yes, there is. After that, we will have day number 2 of the European Open Division playoffs, where we will be finding out who is going to get one step closer to going on to the Crucible to try and earn their spot in the European Pro Division. But for now, this music indicates that it is the time for chatting has passed. It is time to prepare to play the video game.
And the video game shall be played on Battlefield of Eternity, this time around on the left-hand side. Yet again, it is TeamNut, the Blue Trunks, and playing for them. None other than Mercy, Atui, Malthael, Nightmare, and Dia.
And on the right, it is TheOne with Hugo, Keshi, Meng, ZJZ, and Huho.
Huho this time on the Tyrael. The combo maker, of course, with that Maiev. Warden's Cage. It's been a while since we last saw him on the Tyrael, hasn't it? Because for the most part, he was that hyper-aggressive Muradin, Garrosh, Diablo, just truly, going with the flow, going with the meta. But now trying out something slightly different.
Sticking with Exterminator, once again, teams seriously seem to have adopted this nowadays on Reyna for this map. Good, in my opinion.
Yep. Hugo actually dealing a pretty substantial amount of damage here onto the enemy team with the help of the towers, of course. He could have also knocked them back there, of course. Let's actually see who's going to push this faster. Reyna, Exterminator, helping against those minion waves. And now we see them combine with combined efforts. I think that might be pretty even, though. Sergeant Hammer is no slouch when it comes to pushing either.
We see the Spirit of Vengeance putting pressure onto Dia. It is just a straight-up split push here, as Dia, though, seems to be putting on a better defense, as like I said, than Yrel, as Yrel is getting zoned out a lot more.
Yeah, Yrel, of course, it all comes down to the number of stuns available, right? And if you look at TeamNut with a noob rack alone, you have 2 stuns to lock Yrel down, interrupting her from casting anything. So yeah, speed is definitely a little bit faster for TeamNut, but the result shall be the same here. They should definitely take that healing fountain. I don't like that they left that one alive. Tyrael is taking care of it. Never mind him.
Hugo tries to say hello and is denied by Mercy. So TeamNut able to back out. So yeah, first warp down for both teams. So at least we know where the Immortal's going to push. Unless, of course, they swap lanes and keep pushing.
Yeah, very true, actually. That is a good point. So Meng trying to scout the perimeter here. Going in first, actually, as the Maiev. Too slow, though. Mercenary camp was already taken by the nuts.
Keshi burns through this mercenary camp. Doesn't finish it, though. He lost vision of the rest of TeamNut, so he didn't want to take the risk. So as such, TeamNut are now actually going to be able to push with this one now. Reyna's going to have to clean up from a safer position.
All right, with those Impalers, Hugo is going to keep busy in the bottom lane here. We see Siege Tactics coming out for a Sergeant Hammer, going for a standard build. Standard builds all around, by the way. Li Ming once again going for power hungry. And, you know, getting power hungry makes a lot of sense once again if the enemy team A doesn't have a lot of ability damage, or B, if your team needs additional immortal damage. Because after you are picking up a globe, for a certain amount of time, your damage abilities will deal more damage onto the immortal as well, which makes Li Ming an even better racer than she already is.
That it does. So now then, we are seeing Keshi take down a Fallen Shaman camp with the rest of his team, as the rest of his team is already moving out. Scouting. Nightmare will spot this, quite obviously, because Turo just ran into his face. We are seeing Bound by Law for Turo, you can see here. That extra movement speed slow as he just whacks away at Nightmare.
Is my personal favorite talent, by the way, at level 4. A lot of people are still going for the Stalwart Angel, and that is by no means a terrible choice. But me personally, I just really like the additional movement speed slow. It almost turns Tyrael into a pseudo Arthas. Once he sticks to you, you can't run away from him that easily anymore if you go for Bound by Law. And against Sergeant Hammer or Li Ming, that might actually be a very valuable talent choice.
If you combine that with Pursuit of Justice at level 7, then no one flees you, as you have extra attack speed, movement, and attack damage, and of course then the attack speeds, the attack slow from the Bound by Law. So you are seeing the one moving in, putting some pressure onto Mercy, who is able to back up, as Dragon Queen is procced here. And we see the defense from TeamNut. The Immortals super low. They haven't done any damage to the ones, but they were looking for a kill here. They have just been unsuccessful.
And Raynor was basically left uncontested all the time. He could fully spray his entire clip onto that Immortal. He was not even moving. Like, I watched Kashi there, and he wasn't even stutter stepping. So he was just standing there, you know, and melting down that not Immortal. And as a result, it is almost completely untouched. Strong shields, strong health. It is a 5-man push. The one doesn't even send someone into the soul lane. They're fully committing to this.
They move forward. The one looking solid for this aggression, but this time Mercy is set up in that siege mode, burning through the Immortal this time as here comes the Emerald Bind, but nice positioning by Malthael, putting him the fountain in between himself and Maiev so that he would not get pulled in. Very smart.
Yeah, very good indeed, and only now does Blaze decide to actually go down and help his teammates in need, but it might have already been too late, to be honest, and because he had pushed in that lane in the top lane so hard by defending it, now Irel is going to get a lot of soaking done. And the one, from start to finish, a very cleanly executed push. They back off when it's time to do so, but they also turn on the aggression when it was safe to do so, when Blaze wasn't even there yet. So
we see the D-push complete by TeamNut, but the experience lead once again in favor of the one. The Hood is wrapping around. I think it would be best for him to try this. Ambush is used. Oh yeah, he has a rat background. He was running out of room. Finally finds Malthael, begins to turn onto the Sergeant Hammer, who did have to use siege tactics, but is able to boost away without too much of a problem.
Alright, whenever there's that Maiev coming in from over a wall here and trying to drop that Umbral Bind onto you, you better use that immediately, otherwise Sergeant Hammer might have actually not made it out alive. Now, with that maneuver and DRL yet being a little too late there into the top lane to get that soaking done, TeamNut is closing the distance in experience. Quite a little bit.
So, quick clearing up of those mercenaries as we do see Yarel taking some more for the one, as they, like we said, they have full map control. They are completely free to take any mercenaries they want right now, take anything on the map they want, assuming they don't have to push up too far. As TeamNut are putting up a pretty decent defense of their tier 2 towers at least, even able to fight outside of base there temporarily.
Meng scouting out where the Beetle Lord did go. Pretty cool to see. Kashi giving him a nice bullet treatment there as well, but nothing really drastic has happened yet. And if Nightmare wanted to make a play there on that Anubrak, he better do it now, because level 10 is just around the corner for the one. And if there's one thing that TeamNut has shown to be in game number 1, that is being patient and hesitant. Sometimes even a little bit too patient and too hesitant. But now they've assembled their men, and they're trying to bring down that red Immortal as quickly as possible. Not doing it a little too shabbily this time.
Yeah, they're still being completely outraced because Raynor, but like you said, it is better than last time, and they did not have Yarel, so now they're once again in that defensive position. What can they do with this? Moving forward, gets the Umbral Bind onto Nightmare, who is able to pull back here, but they've been forced off of the offensive position. TeamNut now being forced to move into the defensive position as TheOne take up defense. TeamNut burning through this very effectively now.
It's looking mighty good. Here comes the Ward's Cage though onto Alexstrasza, and TheOne decided to switch the gear basically, and
yeah, they had 10.
There we go.
Turns out, if your opponent has 10 and you don't, you're probably going to lose the fight. As they just absolutely wreck, jumping onto the Blaze, who's usually just going to bunker when a Warden's Cage comes down, and he gets destroyed.
Yep, and Li Ming is only a question of time until she falls as well, making it even more of a disaster here. But yeah, as you said, level 10 was around the corner. TeamNut should have seen that from a mile away. They did not, and they got punished because of it.
So now we see ZJ said and the rest of TheOne burning through the Immortal as, well, TeamNut did finish it off. And as such, they have level 10. This Immortal will probably grab both these towers and nothing else. Might not even grab the second tower. Yeah. God, Exterminator's good as that tower survives.
Man, Raynor. He is melting Immortals. Whether it's the neutral one or the enemy one, he doesn't care about that. It applies to them all the same. Actually, I think Raynor at this point is starting to prove to be some pretty tough competition to Hanzo. I think his racing potential is getting very close to that one of the Japanese Archers. Still not as good, but definitely getting close to it.
Mercenaries picked up. They're going to be pushing into that bot lane once again. And yeah, TeamNut, they're certainly less behind than they were last game. They're actually on even levels right now for the next couple seconds before TheOne are able to finish off a minion wave or two. As Yorella right on top, that will be level 12 achieved. They're actually diving pretty deep. You can see that attack speed slows from onto Nightmare, able to try and slow his escape, but he still is able to burrow out.
That was actually a sick impale by a Nubrak, actually preventing Tyrael from chasing anyone down. Only now did Sergeant Hammer take her level 10 here, by the way. Not going for the BFG, but choosing the Napalm Strike instead here. Interesting choice. Now Nightmare needs to be careful. Nightmare doesn't have charged Burrow Charge anymore, and the only thing that prevents TheOne from striking back onto the Beetle is the fact that Irel is top lane. Otherwise, if Irel had been there, that would have been a dead Nubrak.
That it would. So with Nubrak though still alive, this is still the chance for TeamNut to try and turn something around into their favor. They move out across the map looking for Yorel. Might actually get there in time. No, get wrecked. Hammer gets used. Hugo dances away.
In style. Not only securing themselves the mercenary camp, but also teaching Dia on Blaze a lesson here. All right. Defensive postures acquired for TheOne. When are they going to pop off here? Initiation can happen by Irel, Tyrael, or Maya, preferably. They just need that one moment.
One chance to move in. With TeamNut, once again, doing pretty decent on the Immortal race. That turns out 5 people can just about keep up with Raynor.
Yep. All right, a 4-man defense. Pretty well done by TheOne. Now they're trying to make something happen. Bunker is used early already. So is the Dragon Queen.
And that's going to heal up Dia thanks to the abundance, and Dragon Queen dashes in. Double stun, triple stun. Aegis is used for the attempted turnaround. They've got Whitemane in the cocoon so they can try and burn through this, dropping low, but Whitemane with nice cleansing flame on the Tyrael. And that's going to be a 1-for-0. Finally, TeamNut takes something.
That is correct. Look at the top lane, though. The immediate mercenary value needs to be, needs to be noticed by TeamNut. If they let that ignored, they might actually lose the tower wall, but TheOne, 4 versus 5, no problemo. They're not done fighting just yet. Li Ming and Blaze are not currently actively participating for TeamNut. Can they find that kill? Hugo, stun chain, denied.
And TheOne steal away the Immortal, but it's going to be a very low shield one. But
top
seriously,
top keep.
Rainer's speed is so good. Top keep is taking a lot of damage, as you say. Malthael arrives, but definitely going to need help. Blaze arrives, Nightmare arrives. Everyone's on cleanup duty here, except for, in theory, the person who should be.
Yeah, the person that should be clearing this is Sergeant Hammer. Speaking of Sergeant Hammer, what is she doing in the open? Siege tactics, look at those body blocks by Hee. Just barely not able to make it, but that was a clutch one, Mercy.
Mercy able to escape, suddenly burning through this Immortal. Needs to be careful where standing. Siege Tactics won't be up for another couple seconds. Fine, I take that back. Apparently it was up. As we see Mercy being forced to move, as Vaev is going to be in position to maybe grab. Resets galore happening for Meng here, getting multiple people every single time, but the Immortal is down and the Keep is alive. They move forward. Cocoon wants to get onto Whitemane as they chase forward, trying to execute someone, but again, the sustain, too much from this Tyrael Whitemane Yrel.
Yeah, just keep running, use Tyrael's superior movement speed here to get out of harm's way. Meng, oh my goodness, he's playing cat and mouse here with TeamNut, just tempting them into chasing, but TeamNut not getting overzealous, not getting too greedy. They know their limits for now, but they also know that they might have overstepped it here. Holy Ground keeping them in place, actually preventing the Umbral Bind from getting full value.
Drag Cleansing Flame coming in, Bunker dropped as well. As the Umbral Bind, they keep pushing through. They've dropped Sank up in 2 seconds. Dia will 100% full.
Meng with the outplay of that series here, anticipating Blaze's escape route and using his Avatar of Vengeance to actually body block him just in time. Style points acquired yet again for Meng. How does he do it?
I just don't know. You know what? Yes, I do. He's just really, really good. As we see the one pushing in Impalers, Minions, this will be the first keep of the game. But Hammer will... Oh, hang on. If they get Nightmare here, no. Good Burrow Charge. So yeah, the keep and nothing else. They're not going to be able to push him for core yet.
But I don't even think they need to. They just acquired level 16. So now with another talent in Tau that will give them the upper hand, they can probably just set up an ambush. They can try to just brute force their way through the next team fight with that advantage as well. We see the Halo here coming in, by the way, for Tyrael, which means that he's now going to have the additional AoE damage available on both his body and his sword, Eldruin. Burning Halo.
It's going to be a lot of extra harassment here, like you said, and lots of extra damage in the team fight when he does go in. Mortal race, once again, pretty even, but it is being won by the one, but only by 2,000 here.
Yep. Not as close, or not as one-sided as I thought it would be. Actually, much closer than I had anticipated. And looks like the one are willing to let them have a little bit of that Immortal. They want to make that trap spring.
Yeah, Malthael being forced to teleport away. Hammer creeping forward, burning it through, and they will actually win the Immortal here. The question is, can they get more? Bunker being dropped, Mercy being dumped to the backlines. Malthael gets in the bunker, but nowhere to go. Tries to sneak away. Sneak away. Tyrael, though. Eldrin, nice, easy kill. So it's an Immortal for a kill. Now, what can the one make happen with that kill as they look maybe for more for Mercy?
Hugo with a shortcut over the wall, gets pacified by Alex Drassa, though, but even that can't stop him from taking Sergeant Hammer's life. Nightmare completely surrounded, and that makes it a triple kill Tetcher. I think they don't care about this Immortal right now because they are here to take the enemy team's core.
Why did he siege? That was unusual. As we see the core going down, that is going to be game number 2. Going over to the one, they take the 2-0. And we see Dia also getting juggled around for good measure. Nicely done, and that is going to be the one taking the solid 3 points.
Get a kill for good measure, and then finish the core. That's how you do it in HGC China. All right, ladies and gentlemen, 3 points in the pockets of TheOne. They're closing in on Beyond the Game. As we said earlier, Beyond the Game still has an additional series to play, probably tomorrow.